listening to Spicy Thoughts, a piquant philosophical podcast with your host, Devin Steele, together with co-hosts Joshua Golden and Samson Lancaster. Today's topic, nihilism, existentialism, and absurdism.
So last time we talked about the existence or non-existence of God, which primes us for today's topic, which is essentially, without a foundation for moral values, how do we establish those values and what meaning is there left in the world? So the three kind of primary schools that addressed that were nihilism, existentialism, and absurdism. So those are the three kind of forms of thought we're going to talk about tonight. Before we do, we have a sauce, which is Elijah's Extreme Regret.
No regrets.
No regrets, other than diving into this topic
or
potentially.
all of them.
Yeah, the most extreme regret. This sauce hurts. It's the hottest one I think that we've had on the show so far, but not hotter than anything, Sam, that you or I have had in the past.
We've done stupid things in our past.
What's funny about this sauce is I don't actually remember the last time that I had it, so I don't remember what it tastes like. I don't remember if it's even good. So it might be delicious. It might be disgusting.
All right.
And then, Josh, what are you diving into in terms of sauce for our first topic here?
Yeah, for the first topic, we're going to be with Crystal, Louisiana's Pure Crystal Hot Sauce.
Ooh, Louisiana. And, that's one of my favorites.
Very good looking, kind of smelling good.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, that's got a really good flavor. It's really good to add it to soups or to put it on your eggs in the morning. Like, oh man, it's so good stuff. You like it.
See, I told you I was going to pick well for him.
800, right? And your guys' Scoville is
800,000 maybe?
That's correct.
Yeah.
On both numbers, yep. That's right. So before we dive into the topic topper, the topic
So
proper.
There's your extremes here. I'm on the low end. But I do have a hotter sauce, Famous Dave's, that we'll get to. Actually, let me just pull that up here. So I do have one that I'm going to try out this episode, which is Famous Dave's Devil's Spit.
All right.
That one's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because I'll say I've had a lot of Famous Dave's products.
Yeah.
Things like their pickles. They make jars of pickles, and they're just kind of sweet. It's not spicy at all. So before we dive into the topic proper, let's all get a little bit of sauce in our systems. Get a little bit of that heat bubbling.
Oh, the Crystals is good.
Yeah, it is.
I wish we were having Crystal. This doesn't taste bad. It just tastes like peppers.
Yeah, it tastes like Reapers.
Uh-huh.
I know what Reapers taste like.
Well, it is
like your face
Scorpion
is on fire.
Reaper.
It's a Scorpion Reaper. So is that a combination of Moruga and Reaper?
Yeah.
Not like they just combine.
No, it's both peppers.
Both peppers.
It's got Moruga, Scorpion, and Carolina Reaper in the same sauce.
Nice.
That hurts a little.
Those are the two hottest peppers in the world. It does hurt a little bit.
Okay, so there was a lot of sauce on a very small bite of.
That's why I dipped the bottom of mine on top of yours to try to get a little bit more.
I appreciate that.
I was trying to,
So on to our topic at hand. So we have essentially kind of a progression of thought. So I'll just briefly outline it and then we can all discuss it. So in kind of like a post-religious time frame where we no longer have God to rely on for anything, we have first the nihilists who come up with the topic that, or the consensus that, okay, nothing means anything. Life is utterly meaningless. Do whatever you want. Basically, most of them embrace hedonism. Do whatever makes you happy. It doesn't ultimately matter because there's nothing that means anything. The existentialists came along, probably most notably Heidegger came along in the early 1900s and said, no, something means something. It's just not mystical or religious in nature, but there is something beyond subjective experience that has meaning. And typically for the existentialists, what that meaning was very complicated and hard to really communicate. Heidegger's thought kind of came down to interacting with each other and being with each other and affecting each other's lives was greater than the subjective experience of one person, which gave a meaning to life that was greater than individual experience, even if it wasn't approaching a theistic level of meaning.
Which is kind of what we're doing right now.
Very much what we're doing right now. And we're suffering together, which makes it even better.
We're suffering together. And one of the reasons we put this stuff up at the beginning of the episode, we also put this in the descriptions of the episodes. So if you want to suffer along with us, listeners,
by all means, please do. I'm about to dive back in for another one as soon as I finish explaining, but I need to get this out first. So Heidegger's one example. Other existentialists like Sartre had different opinions, but they all ultimately shared the idea that nihilists were wrong. Something matters. It's just hard to really communicate or put into words. And then came along Albert Camus. He founded Absurdism.
Albert Camus.
Which Absurdism in a nutshell is, no, there is no meaning to anything. Technically, the nihilists are right, but because humans are driven by a seeking meaning metric, like we all seek to find meaning in life and the universe, because that's true, we should just embrace the absurd contradiction that we are meaning-seeking creatures in a meaningless universe and live as though our lives had meaning as an act of rebellion.
Wubba lubba dub dub.
Yeah, he's very beloved by edgy teenagers, but made some very excellent points at the same time.
I'm an edgy teenager.
Yeah, you're an edgy teenager at heart for sure. So that's kind of the rough nutshell out of the way. We can dive into each individual piece as much as we want, but I kind of wanted to start the discussion off by just seeing what, if any of these schools, you guys have any pull towards or what you think has weight.
So are we diving into another one of these? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we sure are.
Son of a bitch.
And then the floor is open. That was my little introductory spiel just to, catch the audience up. I'm sure we've mentioned this somewhere else, but for audience members, we do a little bit of research ourselves ahead of time before diving into these episodes to make sure we know what we're talking about. But I like to do a little overview at the beginning just to make sure everyone listening is caught up with us, even if they've never encountered these subjects before.
Yeah. And I appreciate it because, though I read and watched all the things, I may have forgotten some of them. But, so I guess I'll lead with saying that I feel like I am a bit of a nihilist that wants to be an absurdist. In a sense that I'm an atheist, so that automatically means I don't have that existential exterior meaning, at least in that sense. I find meaning in other places, and that's doing stuff like this, for example.
Keep in mind, too, for existentialists, their meaning, when they talk about meaning, has nothing to do with God or religion at all. They agree with nihilists. They're typically all atheists as well. Their kind of point is that there's meaning that's greater than individual experience.
Oh, okay.
It sounds similar to what you were saying. Like you were...
Yeah, I'm a little bit of an existentialist, too, then.
It does get complicated, just to clear this up, too, because I'm sure people listening will also be confused, because the commonly considered the forefather of existentialism was Soren Kierkegaard, very famous philosopher who was absolutely religious.
Very Lutheran.
And very staunchly religious. In fact, he was so religious, he's told most religious people that they weren't religious.
Yeah.
He's a fun, interesting character, but after him, almost all the notable existentialists are all atheists. He was kind of the unique one in the group. Oh, okay. So it definitely doesn't require anything supernatural, nothing mystic, nothing like that. So
that's some spicy sauce.
It's pretty hot, and I'm going in for more because I'm finding I like the taste because I haven't had Reaper in a while. So it's old and familiar at this point.
What do you have to add, Josh, in this bit of the intro? Like, what do you feel like you are? Where do you fall on that scale?
I would say that I kind of fall more towards the absurdist.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, I feel like there is meaning that possibly could be out there, but the world is completely absurd. Like, this is just the absurdity of existence is so crazy that I kind of find meaning in that absurdity. Like, who knows if we're
sauce is absurd. I just want to.
You know what? I should dive. I'm thinking midway through. I should be doing so. The next wing I'm going to do Dave's, but
Yeah, go
Crystal
for
is
it.
actually making me hot. So this I'm a super lightweight. Just like I think like on the level of how much I understand philosophy, I feel like you two have a better understanding of philosophy.
Oh no, I
than
don't.
me,
I absolutely do
but-
not. I'm in over my head in all of this. The sauce is too, but I
So
just
you're our
pretend.
guiding light.
I have.
Um,
This is for later, but I have faith
Huh.
that in what you said that I have more what I don't know, experience and knowledge with both peppers and philosophy than you do. That'll be a joke when you listen to the next episode, I think.
Ooh. Woo.
But in any case, I'm I find the
You're
the
a
whole
true
concept,
absurdist.
kind of.
I think you're a bit existential. You're a bit existential though, because I feel like you get a lot out of your your circle of friends and society as a whole, and all of us. I mean, we're doing this.
This is true.
This
Like,
this podcast by definition would be existential, right? Like unless we're not in, we don't want to get any meaning out of this. But I think all of us are trying to find meaning and trying to help others find meaning, and I think that is in itself a meaning, right?
It can be. I think it ultimately boils down to whether you think that the meaning that we find in doing this is actually meaningful, or if we're playing pretend in a way.
No, absolutely.
Wink, wink for the next episode on that one too.
Okay, yes. So absolutely, this is for me. I can't speak for you guys. I can only conject. But for me, I do find meaning, and I do. And I'm not pretending when I say that. I mean I like to entertain. I am fulfilled when others are entertained, or they laugh, or they're happy, or I evoke some sort of emotion. Because it's not just laughter, it's not just happy. It's if I can evoke some sort of emotion in somebody else, that gives me I guess meaning or pleasure, whatever the word may be. It's in some cases both, right? Like and in some cases it could be more of the aesthetic sphere, or whatever, Kierkegaard's the aesthetic, where it's more of like instant gratification thing. And that's for me, of course, is PvP, because I know somebody on the other side of that screen is pissed when I get headshot him or something, as a gamer.
Yeah.
Speaking as a gamer.
No, and I would agree that I definitely have I love the meaning of just like doing certain things, but there is a part of me though that is like questioning a lot. I like to say that I'm only 99.9% sure of anything, and that I'm always going to leave like a 0.1% chance of that being completely and utterly wrong, even if it's really, because this universe is crazy, man. This reality, the whole concept,
Absolutely.
Just looking at it from
it's
like
absurd.
the bigger sphere of, it's completely absurd. This is ridiculous. It shouldn't exist at all. None of it, not even the stars. Like, this is all very weird, and we're just learning. We're like baby steps into our existence as a thinking, walking creature. I mean, I have a lot of faith in humanity. I really do believe that once we push it and we, give us 1,000 or 5,000 years or 1,000,000 years or 1,000,000,000 years. Oh my God, man! Like, holy shit,
are
gonna be freaking awesome.
Meat tractors just rolling through this universe, and we happen to start thinking at some point.
And it's possible that we'll wipe ourselves out, or that the star will go supernova for one stupid ass reason, like maybe an alien.
Oh, it's very possible.
Comet into it, or whatever, or localized crazy rogue planet like rummages through. Like there's a billion trillion things that should have already destroyed this planet, and prevented any life from being in existence. So, this is a very interesting.
Yeah, you're definitely. I feel like. I mean,
it's.
I feel like you're definitely an absurdist, but I want your opinion.
But I do have a very strong belief in the existentialism of making your own meaning out of
yes,
and that this is.
On account of the fact that we're all bards.
There's like the upper scale. Yeah, this is just a video game, but if I'm going to be an NPC in a video game, then I'm going to just try and do the best that I can.
Yeah, especially
and make meaning out of what I can do, who I can interact with, and I just love humans. So
indeed,
I think they're awesome.
I think we're all, the three of us, bards in our own way, in that we want to tell a story, our story, something that we're doing right. That's what we're doing right now. But I actually am curious to know what Devin thinks about like what we are, like me, what Frozen is. From what you've observed thus far, we've done a few episodes already, and we know each other personally.
Yeah.
So I kind of want your, like, what do you think I am?
I kind of get the feeling, honestly, for both of you that you tend more towards the existentialist lane, because the existentialists and absurdists would both say that there's apparent meaning in what we do. But for the absurdist, it is completely false. Essentially, you're living a contradictory life for a reason. It's living as though there's meaning in a meaningless universe is an act of rebellion. That was Camus' kind of big famous point. But it doesn't ultimately mean anything. There's nothing of true meaning or value to be found. It's all, we're all going to die and be in the ground, and then eventually the universe will suffer heat death, and nothing that anyone did will ever actually matter.
I feel like that too, though. Like, I mean, that's to me, that's a fact, right? It's a fact.
Well, that's the thing that sucks, is that no matter how, like,
I don't
exists,
feel as much
right?
that it sucks as that it's almost, I mean,
it just is what it is.
It is what it is. So like we have to find that meaning and help others find that meaning, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you a question specifically, Sam, then, and then Josh will get to you after this. So for you specifically, life ends with death. Nothing after that. The universe will eventually suffer heat death, and nothing exists anymore at that point.
Life. Okay, my life that might still persist a bit after my death in certain ways, right? Like
based on legacy, like how you have impacted others,
how I have impacted others.
Okay.
So true
That's
death.
Cool.
I forget who said this, and you probably know. True death is when no one ever speaks your name again.
I don't remember, but I've definitely heard the quote.
Yeah, that's what I think is that's okay. Because at that point, not only are you dead, but you're forgotten.
Right. But when we eventually hit the heat death of the universe, there will be no one to remember. So everyone is truly dead at that point. So essentially what I'm getting at is,
then it might just start over
again. Is the meaning that you have up until that point. So you're saying you're putting meaning out there, you're finding meaning in the things that you do. The heat death of the universe either solidifies the fact that the meaning that you found...
Going for heat death right now.
Yeah. It either solidifies the fact that the meaning that you're pursuing doesn't exist, and you're pretending it does because it gives you an emotional output, or it's just because it's what humans do. We seek meaning, so you're looking for it. Or you think, no, there is actually a tangible meaning that is not just your opinion. Like, there's something that matters more than the individual experience, because that's kind of the split between the absurdist and the existentialist. The existentialists think there is something that gives meaning that's greater than
it. I do think in a sense that it's greater than me, the individual, because of the affecting of other individuals, right? Mm-hmm. Let's just arbitrary number. Maybe there's 1,000 people. It's a really big number, but maybe there's 1,000 people that know me and will not forget me until they die. So then technically I feel like I wouldn't stop existing until all of those people are gone. But there's also a chance that those people might tell a story about me to somebody else or their kid or something like that, right? Those are possibilities. I would like, I guess that there is some self-serving, egotistical selfishness to that, and that there is a lot of the individualist in that, but I feel that because someone else is, if someone else remembers me or you in a positive light, and it gives them a meaning, or it gives them a sense of something, like that is, it's good for them in whatever however they feel what's good for them, then it's affected them, and that's greater than just me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like, I mean, it's hard to explain because.
Okay,
I'll fully admit that I'm an egotistical, self-absorbed asshole.
Most of us are, to be fair.
Yeah,
at least to some extent. But let me put it to you this way. I think this is a little bit more easy. So, the meaning that comes from your life.
Dumb it down for me. He says this will be a little bit more easy.
No, just easy to interpret and navigate through. So the meaning
wasn't that pretentious. Just keep going.
The meaning that you find in life, is that meaning purely of human origin and human experience, or does that meaning approach what one could conceptualize as the divine? Like, it's not God. We're not talking about God or anything mystical.
Okay. So,
but on a higher level than the human level.
Okay, well, in my philosophy, animals are on a higher level than the human level. Some people would think that they're lower, but I love animals. We have cats right now. We want to have other pets and rescue animals, and like one of the things that I think also is just like, I know, so I've had, I mean, this type of stuff's gonna come up eventually, but I've had 2 cats that I raised from little nugs. They were a few weeks old, whatever, till they were 17 and 18, and they essentially passed away from old age, right? Like we gave them the best care that they possibly could have. I like to think that they had a really good life. Most people would agree, whether they're not, they're just trying to make me feel better. But Monkey and Nermal,
poor one.
They were
poor couple out for the homies.
Brother and sister. Yeah, I'm gonna take a sip for
the homies.
But Monkey and Nermal were our babies, and it was extremely painful when they passed away. But I like to think that not only did we affect them, like they had a good life, like they could have had a much worse life someplace else. Mm-hmm. But I would like to do that with or affect as many animals as possible, just as much as like when I'm buying shit at PetSmart, right? Like I always donate to the animal causes and stuff like that. But also on Strength and Gaming, we do Extra Life because we know that it's a way that we can help just by playing video games and doing our show and the other things that we do to help others, kids in need that need medical help and stuff like that. Like that's back to the human side of things, right? Mm-hmm. But to get away from that, more towards the divine, as it were, nature.
Sure.
Preserving Earth, preserving what some would call Mother Earth or Gaia or whatever. I would say that if I were to be a part of any religion, it would be one that is more in the worshiping or preservation of nature. I strive to be as the least impactful as possible at currently and try to give back to, I don't buy carbon offsets though. Let's just be clear. I'm not a greenwasher, but I try to just like the things that I do on the daily to, I know there's a box of Kleenex over there. But I tried not to use Kleenex. I have handkerchiefs all over the place and stuff like that, so I don't waste. I know this is I'm going off on a long thing, but what I'm trying to say is
what you're doing though is illustrating a very important point, which is that you're contributing to things that are much larger than you.
Yes.
That have meaning that is external to you
and external to humans. I think.
Yeah. So I think with all that said, you're much closer to an existentialist, which is a comfy place to be. The most prominent existentialists have been. Nietzsche was one. That's where he landed after nihilism. So you're in good company for sure. Josh, what about you?
So I would say that I don't really have a belief structure that my problem is, I guess, with infinity more than anything else, the concept of forever or whatever. That the...
Right. Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. I just want to point out that this fool is adding extra sauce. He's adding extra sauce to the thing, and this is what happens between us. It's something that's common.
Well, there wasn't that much on it. I just added a little.
Son of a... That was not what I wanted to do.
Right,
That's too much.
A famous Dave's here.
Let me steal a little bit of that.
I'm going to take a bite of this.
Try to get that a little closer to even.
So we're going to see if I'm going to die here, and then I'll try and better answer your question.
There we go. Look. Yeah, I did a bunch.
Looks so good.
Whew,
Yeah, it's not hot at all. Oh, that's a little bit of hot.
Oh,
A little bit.
woo!
Very sweet though, like you said. It's
Yeah. Okay. So there's something to be said about sweetness with hot sauces, because most recently, and this is a tangent that I'm either going to edit out or I'm going to leave it in, or I'm going to put it someplace else. Could be an extra someplace. But there is an absolutely terrible concoction creation that everybody should try.
Oh no! Here we go. I already know what's coming.
It's called the PB and Jealousy Burger, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a peanut butter and jelly burger with whatever your favorite medium for the patty is. I pick Impossible or Beyond, and I'm assuming Devin would go Impossible or Beyond because I can't eat beef, but Devin's vegan because that's how he gets his superpowers.
That's right.
But that aside, the peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon, preferably. So in our case, fake bacon, but you put regular bacon on it, whatever, is one of the most disgusting things that I've ever seen in my life. And I had to order it from this place called Slater's 50/50. And I ordered it and tried it, and it was amazing. So we had to make it ourselves. And I think this was actually my wife's idea, was that we should make it spicy. And guess what we had in the refrigerator? Carolina Reaper blueberry hot sauce. So we did add that. But I will say that the sweet in hot sauces does taper the heat quite a bit. I don't know what the science is behind that.
It can definitely help.
But it was really good.
It feels like it's more of a build up. It doesn't start super hot.
Yeah.
And it just slowly lets you get like acclimated to the hotness that you're having.
But anyways, I
can feel it a little bit more now.
That's a bit more of an aesthetic thing, right? Like an instant gratification of that tastes really good, and it activates my serotonins.
Yeah, the serotonins. Exactly right.
Going back to my misconception of how the universe is, and what the terminology and thought process. I've tried looking into infinity a lot, and I really don't out of all the research that I've done, infinity is this interesting concept that is really hard to wrap your mind around. But if there is something bigger or greater or more meaning to the world, how can that exist inside of infinity? It's just out of all the things that are possible and happen, and if if there is an afterlife that you get to live forever after, or if you get reincarnated until reincarnation doesn't happen anymore, or the infinity of the universe, everything has already happened.
Or this is the afterlife.
Or this is the afterlife.
It's hot enough.
The good place. Are we?
Oh yeah, we're in the quote unquote good place.
Good place, yeah. No exactly.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
I've already watched all of it. I'm just for.
Yeah, for the viewers, I don't want to go. But it just is. I think existence is purely absurd, in that we can find some meaning that we personally have on existence. And you can find personal meaning in the universe, which is awesome. And I think that's something that animals already have. It doesn't matter.
There we go. We're striving to be animals.
But to a certain degree, what you're talking about is being in touch with nature and stuff like that. And I can see that as a good understanding of how we should interact in the universe and what our proper role is. But I think that humans are absurd, and we definitely are not going to do that. Like, I mean,
but
some of us will. Individuals will.
At the same time,
in general,
humans,
we're gonna break reality as much as we possibly
we're creatures and we're animals, and we are technically natural.
That is true, and you can take it on a much broader, like anything that exists in the universe is natural. Even if it's brought about, like even AI, it could be a natural creation of the universe. But on the more basic level of just how to interact with an environment in order to keep it going, we're not about doing that. The dogs, the cats, the things that we've brought into our universe, we've also altered to be very different from. I mean, they're better at existing in wild, but they, a lot of them wouldn't do well in the wild.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although actually cats, and I feel like dogs are the scary ones because they get like feral dogs are really, really terrifying. I've never encountered one, but I've heard, lots of stories living in the country about feral dogs, and it's bad. They're like a wolf. I would take a wolf every single day for the next year over one encounter with a feral dog.
Well, a wolf is most likely going to leave you alone if its pack's not around. Whereas a
even
feral
with
dog
pack,
doesn't care.
Unless it's starving, it's not going to give a fuck about it. Unless rabid or starving, I'm not an animal that it cares to deal with. Like, it saw that we tamed its fucking ancestors long ago, and we're like, that. Like we don't.
Yeah.
We'll eat its cattle. We'll eat its farm life because they're really stupid and put it all like for us to feast on. But even then we like went out and massacred a bunch of them, which is bad. But that's getting off of the whole point of what I'm trying to make, though, is that it is really interesting that that's not what we're about. We're not about acting and dealing with the way to preserve nature. We are looking to break the game. Like, we are just looking to manipulate
the human race, you mean?
The human race. We push the boundaries of everything that can and will be.
And yes, I would agree.
That's where I get hope.
I would agree with that too, but I strive maybe to not. I strive to push the boundaries without screwing with Mother Nature as much as destroying it, I guess.
As best you can. I mean, you'll use electricity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's, different levels of how to try and be in harmony with nature. And I don't think that humans as we are right now, I think that eventually we might be able to come back to that. And that as we evolve and we understand the universe better, there's certain levels of how we interact with it more properly. But we're at a very destructive phase right now, which is kind of terrifying for a lot of people, I feel like.
Yeah, we're going to actually have a lot to say about living with nature in a future episode, too.
Yeah.
So that has been foreseen.
There's a lot of foreshadowing going on right now. I really like the way this is structured.
It's almost like it was done on purpose.
Yeah,
it's
almost like it was done on purpose.
But so,
I think,
Josh, I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
I'm going in.
So, as you're talking about the more ideal way, or the things that we can accomplish, and some of the things that give you hope about humanity, first of all, do you think that the universe is in fact infinite? Because you also said that the concept of infinity kind of defies any meaning whatsoever, given that everything will always happen all the time at a certain point in that spectrum.
I mean, there's a certain, like I said, I mean, I'm more, I would say that there's a gradient of how much, and depending on the situation, what I think about in, but if you take it to a larger scale of what the is reality, what is the universe, and why do we exist, and is there any?
This is the reality right here. This is the universe.
This stuff.
You have to take a sip of that really quick.
I will, but go to the most macro level, like
at
zoom
the
all
most
the way
macro
out.
level. Is that it's too much. I don't think we have the capability of truthfully understanding that in any way, shape, or form. especially once it just goes.
Sorry,
Okay,
that's just really good with spicy. It's just really good.
That's a really good pairing. So the reason I was asking is because you're striking me as being a little bit closer to the absurd side.
Which is what he said.
Yeah, which is exactly what he said. Which is essentially that there is nothing that really means anything, but we should live like it does anyway, because we can find some degree of meaning. It subjectively matters, so we should still do it. But ultimately, it doesn't.
Ultimately, like I almost have like a belief that there's the idea of like we're just all one soul, and then I'm just gonna play out all of the existence of all of that has ever existed, including aliens, including the multiverse, including the little disc that was made by somebody that plays out a song, and then somebody else that made a holodeck, and I'm gonna play out that existence. Like all of existence. I'm gonna play a rock. I get to be the sun. I get to be the moon.
That's absurd, sir.
And that's my kind of like that. We will experience all that there is to experience. That there is never going to be nothing. There's just always going to be something. And that once you get to nothing, guess what? You're back. Like,
yeah, it's just it starts over.
I said, but you don't even know. It doesn't. And that's the beautiful part is that depending on the level of what how you are interacting with this universe, it doesn't even matter. And that's what like being an animal is like. Just it doesn't fucking matter at all.
Watch your profanity.
Oh.
Watch your profanity.
So bad. I am so bad.
That was a great reference.
I don't care, honestly.
That almost killed me.
I'll edit it. It's fine. I just had to.
I'm just so bad. But because I get passionate, if I get really passionate,
no, it's great. That's the thing. That's the thing. I don't want to limit your passion because as a producer. This is breaking the fourth wall, but as a producer, I want to make something that's consumable by everybody, and mostly I want it to reach everybody. And the platforms, at least one of the platforms that this is on, YouTube, is very strict with such things. Yes. And so
you want to do anything
you just have to adhere by their draconian rules, which are not consistent. Listen to Strengthcast if you want to hear about us complaining about YouTube. But I just
can I tell you guys a side story just because this will be funny?
Absolutely.
So this is most likely off air. We'll discuss it later if we want to put it on air, but most likely this will get edited out. But I was in an existentialism class in college around last year this time, and we had to give a Patreon would be fine, and we had to do presentations about different existentialists and. Mine was on Camus, which is why I know as much as I do about absurdism. That was like my deepest dive was that one. But
he's a sexy beast.
It was an audio presentation, so it was all
Camus. You too, but I meant Camus.
Yeah, it was all digital. But so we were all recording our voices and recording parts over PowerPoints and such. One of my fellow presenters, my peer mates, was trying to give an example about like the natural process. And how things just logically follow. So if you have this situation, it's going to lead to that outcome. I don't remember what his original point was, but that's like what he was trying to illustrate. And he said, and I quote, on the presentation that's being submitted to our professor for a grade, he was like, if I eat food in my body, you know what happens? This mother shits.
It's true.
It's true. Wrong. He's not wrong. And the professor actually thought it was hilarious, so it was fine. But
I thought it was hilarious.
I did too. Once I was done panicking,
like
thinking we were going to get in trouble. So, back in to where we're at. Any closing thoughts on nihilism, existentialism, or absurdism? I think we've kind of established, Sam, you're closer to existentialist.
I'm closer to existentialism, but
I think I am too.
I will say this in closing, I suppose. And that is when I was a teenager, definitely a nihilist.
Oh, same for me, 100%.
All of the things, right? Like you talk about Camus, but what was it? Sisyphus, the myth of Sisyphus.
Myth of Sisyphus, yeah.
And as a teenager, I've dealt with thoughts of suicide, and dealt with not so much attempting. I didn't really end up doing that, but I've also dealt with the fact that
I did.
Good on you, sir.
Failed, sadly, like most things in life.
Yeah, right. So
I guess
that's
some
dark humor. We're gonna have to put a trigger warning on this.
Yeah, TW, folks. TW.
Then I guess in closing, I want to do a quick. Since we are talking about Camus and we're talking about absurdism and Sisyphus, the myth of Sisyphus,
Sisyphus
versus the myth of syphilis, but it was that my dad actually, I mean, I guess you could call it an attempted suicide, but it should have very well been suicide. He shot himself in the chest. This was when he was in his teen years, and the bullet missed his heart by nothing.
Right, it just barely missed.
So the fact that I am here sitting before you today is pretty fucking absurd, in my opinion, because
watch your profanity.
I know. I know what I'm doing.
As throw it back at you.
So, but yeah, so like that in itself, and I loved my dad. May he rest in peace, or wherever he is now. But I like that. That is absurd. Like how do you? And I'm not going to get into any reasons why or anything like that, because that's a whole other podcast, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy, and because it wasn't just him too, all of his siblings attempted as well. I feel like maybe some of them might have been on the other side of like the cry for help kind of thing, but I felt like he wasn't f***ing around.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Well, there's a pretty severe difference between ways that you go about it.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Trying to shoot yourself in the heart is pretty about as far as from a cry for attention as you get.
Yeah,
you're looking for results at that point.
Yeah, that's looking for results. But I'm here today, and yeah, that's all.
So what we're getting from that is that you're kind of close to the existentialist only because you still like to have some meaning that's not utterly fabricated.
Yeah.
And not just embracing contradiction, but there is something there.
Yeah, there's something.
But you really love the absurdists.
I love the absurdists, and I was definitely a nihilist at some point. But isn't every existentialist, right? Out in the audience, every existentialist was a nihilist at some point, maybe?
I don't think you can get to existentialism without being a nihilist first, at least for a while. I was both a nihilist and not even atheist, an anti-theist as a teenager.
Oh, I was also an anti-theist.
So, yeah.
But then I tried all the religions. The main ones, at least.
Yeah, I did too. But
any anti-religions. You can call me Monsieur Antichrist.
Yes, of course.
So I think
for
my closing notes, I would just like to say that you're just making all this stuff up. Everybody's just making it all up.
It's just a bunch of pretend
words.
Bunch of pretend.
See, I was being careful not to say.
I know. I gave you before the show too.
There we go. There's another one. We'll count from now on. Got till the end of the show. But I really do think that it's just words are made up. We're just all just trying to make it up as we go, and I find that beautiful though. And I think that I really do find the beauty in our ability to break reality. To when you jump, I mean, just as an example, like any simulated universe that we've created so far, if you put people into it, what's the first thing that they do? They like go look for all of the breaks in the code. You know,
dude, that's what I do.
They find every exploit and every glitch that ever has ever.
That's like my
in the
day job is breaking code.
It's right. We're code breakers. We are information. And that's some of the other beautiful aspects of being human, is that we are pattern recognition machines that are epic at what we do, and we are like like just at the beginning of building this crazy thing. So I find that it's a beautiful absurdity of insanity that's going on in what we got right here. But I just think that it is all based on something that is completely and utterly, like, there is really nothing to any of, like, eventually it just is, what we're doing here is part of, you know, maybe a bigger machine, but that bigger machine is then just part of another bigger machine that's maybe just, you know, there's got to always be something beyond that. The interesting part is, I wonder what's going to happen once we break through all of those barriers in 10 billion years, and we
transcend.
Really take a look at what the universe is, beyond, you know, the multiverse of the universe.
Yeah, well, and that might be an interesting topic of its own too.
Yes,
is
absolutely.
The world in 10 million years, trying to picture that.
Yeah.
So okay, I think that's pretty solid conversation on that. I would just like to end personally with a couple quick Camus quotes. The first one Samson already alluded to, which is Samson. In the Myth of Sisyphus, Camus said that the fundamental problem of philosophy concerns suicide. The number one thing in philosophy is, why should I not kill myself? And you can begin from there to do the study. And the last thing is in that same Myth of Sisyphus, he said that, of course, Sisyphus being the, we all know, but just for the listeners, if anyone's not familiar with Greek mythology, Sisyphus is someone who is doomed to exist in the underworld and roll a giant boulder up a hill, only such that when he gets the boulder to the top of the hill, it rolls back down and he's got to do it all over again. Camus, while thinking on that, said, absurd. Quote, one must imagine Sisyphus happy.
Which is absurd.
So I really like Elijah's Extreme Regret, to be honest with you. It's very hot. About as hot as you would expect a sauce to be that is both Moruga Scorpion and Carolina Reaper.
It burns, but it has a good flavor.
It only actually clocks in around 800,000 Scovilles. And I know, only 800,000.
For the listeners, but, I understand, only.
But with those two peppers, you'd think it'd be a little bit hotter. So yeah, they harness some good stuff going on there. Josh, how you feeling on yours?
So Louisiana's pure crystal.
One of my favorites. My go-to.
Great
hot
flavor
sauce
on
is
that.
great. This is solid. Like I would I'd eat this every day without a problem.
It's good.
800
and you should eat it every day because you're gonna need to strengthen your
power
guts. Level up.
Which brings me over to Famous Dave's Devil's Spit. And usually I'm not like a big barbecue sauce person, but it's spicy enough.
Is a good thing.
Yes. I have to say, it's, you know, it says that it's 3 out of 5. I feel like the sweetness brings it down a little bit. But it was good. I really liked it, and it was really sweet comparatively to Crystals is like solidly like in the hot, you know, but
sour.
With that sour like hotness.
The vinegar used the flavor.
Yeah, it was solid.
Sweet.
Stay spicy.
That's good. I like that.
That'll do.
Thank you for listening to Spicy Thoughts. You can find us on YouTube at Spicy Thoughts Podcast. Contact us with your spicy inquiries at spicythoughts@strcast.com. Created by Devin Steele and Samson Lancaster.